Okay. See, is anybody in here? No? Okay. So I'm still working on my lipstick's messy from drinking my tea. Okay, so let's go see who's here. Hi. Hi. Okay, that's going to give me feedback. Okay, hi. So if you're not signed into your channel, you probably want to be. If you could say hi to me in the chat feature on the side, that's where I'll be able to see your comments and talk to you. Oh, right. Okay, so okay. Get started here in just a couple minutes. Okay. Did say something. Did something. Okay. So who's in here with me? You can comment on the right. Okay. Just pulling up some information on the internet right now while I wait for my friends to join me. Uh-oh. Here. Okay. So I'm working on a list of topics to possibly talk about. And okay, let's see. Very strange. Ah, okay. Now I see my comment there. So I'm a little tired. I just had a long phone call from a family member just before I got ready to um, get this started. So I'm going to go close the door and I'll be right back. Grab a cup of tea, hot chocolate, coffee, whatever. I'll be right back. Yeah, yeah. Okay. Okay, nobody's there yet. Good. Just just me and my teapots. Okay, there we go. That's better. So it's been kind of a long day. I did actually have to work today. Now it's time to settle down. Um, as I said, I have a cup of tea, well, a pot of tea, and hopefully, hopefully my Friday night crew will show up here shortly. If not, that's okay. I did end up having to work until 6 o'clock. And so, anyway, then I got a phone call from a family member checking on me and seeing how things were going. And we had a rather lengthy phone call. Um, one of my favorite human beings in the entire world. So, I'm going to do, actually going to uh, go ahead and get started talking about all the interesting things going on in the world. Okay. Why does that keep happening? Why does that keep happening? Okay. Hi. Thanks for coming back. Say something in the comments because I can't tell what's happening here. Um, I see the little number keep changing and I have no idea who's here. Hi. Say something in the comments for me. Let me know who's here, please. Please. So, anyway, aside from working and everybody being on our own and kind of isolated. Who's keeping up with the news? Hi.
So who's that?
I have no idea who's here.
Really?
Say hello to the whole 2 people that are signed in that I can't see.
Why can't you see?
I don't know.
Who are they?
But they can hear you. I don't know who.
Who the hell are you?
Special guest, the anonymous old cynic. Come in and say hi. Chat with me. Oh, hey, we got more people. I have no idea who's here. Say hi in the comments. Let me know who's here. The old cynic says hello too. Come on in, sit down.
Who the hell are you?
Nobody wants to hear you yell at them, dear.
I'm sure they don't. Tell me who the hell they are.
Oh, hey, Mel's here. Hi. Smart ass. I know you could hear him in the background. He's back there. He's screaming, "Who's here? Tell me who's there." I don't know. Well, now I know because it's you. Speak up. You want to hear him yell? Hey, old cynic, somebody wants to hear you yell. Oh, he went back in the other room. He can't hear me now. Sorry. How are you guys doing? How are you guys holding up with all the isolation stuff? Hi, Lisa. Uh-oh. You guys, this is so awkward, but I need just a second. I forgot my charger for my phone. Be right back. I know talking to a computer screen is very strange. Let me tell you. I'll be right back. Because the old cynic didn't hear me. Okay, I'm back in the room. That was fun, right? Totally sucks. So, yeah, this isolation thing is really, really weird. I don't mind because I'm actually getting a lot done. Who knew that saving 3 hours a day driving, I'm actually getting a lot done. Because I'm behind on everything. Last year just sort of threw everything into turmoil. I'm like a year behind on unpacking and yard work. Well, maybe not a year on the yard work, but a lot. So, are you guys keeping up with the news at all? Hi again. Oh, here he is. He came back.
Identified themselves?
Mel and Lisa identified themselves. Yeah, come on.
No. I saw the internet ruined your life.
Did you hear that? The internet ruined my life. Oh, yeah. MSNBC is 24/7. Yep.
Oh, so now you're hiding your dirty dishes under the desk, are you?
Secrets.
Wow.
So, are you guys keeping up with the Gannon Stauch case or Lori Vallow? Yeah, I know. On a totally fun time around here, let me tell you. You so awesome. Okay. So I actually first heard about let's see, Gannon Stauch went missing in January, like right after I came back from Colorado Springs, which is where he was. He's 11 years old, and he lived with his dad and his stepmom, and his stepmom reported him missing as a runaway, but they just found his body in Florida, and they've arrested the stepmom on like 14 counts of child abuse, um, murder, child abuse leading to death, abuse by um, a person of trust, like all these crazy charges. And every day it seems like there's something new going on. I can't hear you at all, Mark, but I can see that you're here. Yeah, so this is crazy. Hey, old cynic, Mark's here. Yeah. So anyway, the whole crazy thing started on, I can't remember the exact date, but she reported him as a runaway. And when she reported him, she told the police that he had stayed home from school sick and then had gone to a friend's later in the day, right? So if your kid's homesick, you're going to let him go to a friend's later in the day. So it actually turned out that he was home with her that day until about 10 o'clock in the morning. They got in her husband's truck because he's in the military. So he was off training. He was in, I can't remember, Kansas or Oklahoma. He was somewhere not in the state, right? So the day he goes missing, she takes him, puts him in the truck, and they leave and they go off up to the Petco. And then she said something about going to the bicycle shop and like all these things. Well, she had two different visits to the same Petco that day, but when she got home, he wasn't with her. Kid nowhere. But meanwhile, she's telling the police that they went out, they came home together, and he left, and some other people came to pick him up, a friend, and all of that. So then she rents a car. Her She rents a car, picks her husband up from the airport, and says, well, she rents a car and does something for like 4 hours before him up from the airport. No, she didn't sell it. I don't think that's the way that went, but it was a thought. But it turns out that the neighbor had video footage of her leaving the house with him and him not getting out of the truck or being with her when they came back. And as soon as her husband saw the video footage, he was like, she's lying. I'm done. He filed for divorce like the next day. Nuts. Completely flippin' nuts. So that was in January. So last week they found his body in Pace, Florida, which is right outside Pensacola. And his body was in a suitcase, which was the only thing that the father had reported was missing from the house. Now, of course, he files divorce, kicks her out, she leaves, whatever. She's gone, she's moved out of the house. And it's yeah, yuck. It's nuts. It's pretty terrible. But she actually released herself, not a bright woman. She released a video she took of her phone of her being frantic, and this from the day before she reported him missing. And you could hear her just like really intensely berating him. Not, I don't know, berating may not be the right term, but she was really going at him pretty hard. Like, promise me you didn't do this on purpose. Promise me. Like something about a candle being turned over and ruining the carpet. But she was like just going at him really hard. And as she was turning it off at the end, you could hear him in the background saying, "I'm bleeding." And that's the last anybody saw or heard of him until, except for the next day with the video of him leaving the house. So it's a pretty messed up situation. But they originally filed 4 charges, and then went, and after his body was found, they filed 9 additional charges for a total of 13. And I've heard 13 or 14. Oh, I think she's completely nuts. Yeah, Letitia Stauch she's out there. So the first weekend he's missing, she actually does this interview. Crazy. But she won't look at the camera. She's got her back turned to the camera, but she's doing this stupid interview, and it's all about her. Do they know where No, they've been looking for him. But they filed murder charges like a month ago. They went and picked her up in South Carolina and extradited her back. And this is funny. This woman is nuts, because while they were driving her back from South Carolina, she actually managed to get out of the handcuffs and attack the officer that was driving her back. Yeah, I agree. Send her away. She's freaking nuts.
Who, Lisa?
No, Letitia Stauch.
Oh,
The stepmother that I keep telling you about, that you keep defending.
I don't defend her. I defend the law.
Kidding, he doesn't really defend her.
I defend the law.
Okay.
And Colorado's track record speaks for itself when it comes to enforcing the law.
Can you
Not
hear him?
everybody is Joe.
You want to sit down?
No.
I got chairs.
No, I'm good. So you can't see them?
I can't see them. I'm the only one on camera.
Wow.
I know.
See, she's pretentious. You need to know that.
He's calling me a show off for being the only one on camera. You're having an energy outreach? Oh, that's fantastic, Mark. We need to do that.
What?
Have an energy outreach. Like people are gonna just send lots of positive vibes and stuff.
What, all four of them?
All four of us. I don't know.
All four of
Thank
anybody?
you. Thanks, Mel. You're sweet. At 8:30? Where? Yes.
You could conference call everybody into the phone so y'all could hear each other talk.
Oh, yeah. People want to see that online.
No, it doesn't have to. You do it on your phone.
Oh,
Conference call on your
I don't
phone.
know how to
Put it
conference
on
call.
speaker.
I don't know how to
Wow, you
conference
people are
call.
technologically
Yeah,
advanced.
yeah. Says the man who's barely in the 1990s with, yeah. Oh, hi, Lisa. Thank you. You're sweet. Sunday at 8:30. Cool. Is it just something that everybody's just kind of doing on their own, or are people getting together to do that? So, what about have you guys heard of what's going on with Lori Vallow? I heard they're actually on the brink of possibly adding additional charges. Lori Vallow? Oh, do you guys not know this story too? This one is really freaking twisted. Okay, so Lori joins this cult, and I'm calling it a cult. You can disagree with me, but it's like this subversion of the Latter-day Saints, and it's not really what the Mormons do. It's like this other subgroup of a subgroup. All right, Mark, have a good night. We'll see you next time. I'm glad you made it. So she was married to this guy, Charles Vallow. And they'd been married for, I don't know, 15, 20 years, a really long time. They had custody of his nephew, which is this whole other story, but he's one of the missing kids. So they had adopted this nephew. And she had her daughter from a previous marriage, and Charles, the guy she's married to, is her fourth husband. So they're married with these two kids, and she's starting to go a little nuts talking about being the second coming. Like she thinks she's this um what's the word that she is, this being, this special evolved being, right? And anybody that gets in the way essentially needs to die. So he gets a little freaked out, and he's telling her she needs mental help and trying to get her to get some help. Well, he's on a business trip. She takes his business money. Not John Smith. It's like the what is it? The Church of the Firstborn. And if you look up what they believe, it's like really flippin' freaky. They believe that anybody, can go from being just perfect light beings, wonderful, normal humans, and then all of a sudden they're filled with darkness and spirits, and the only way to get rid of these spirits that are possessing them is to kill them or really intense trauma. It's crazy. And they also have this thing that they're calling white camps. I don't know much about that. I'm still working on doing a little research for that. But she's going a little nuts, right? Well, he's on a business trip. Yeah, well, yeah, these people are, yes, definitely some strange ones. She steals right here in Arizona. They're living in Mesa, I think, or were they back in Idaho when this happened? No, they were here in Mesa because their son was in school in Mesa at he's autistic, by the way. I forgot to mention that part. So she steals like $35,000 from his business account, moves it to their joint account, and then spends the money, does something with it. Totally just nuts. So he figures this out, right? Then he ends up, essentially, he ends up dead. Her brother killed him when, well, he threw her out, and they're getting separated, and she's living with her brother. So the brother claimed that he came over and assaulted him with a baseball bat. The brother, Alex Cox, shoots him. No, the husband. The husband. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is a really twisted, convoluted situation. So Lori's brother kills her husband. Before he's even dead, she is online shopping for a wedding ring and a wedding gown because husband number 5 is in the picture. Husband number 5, we'll get to in a minute, but the day her husband is killed, she's throwing a pool party. She's asking the kids who they want to have over and what they want to do, and the kids want to have a pool party. She waits 2 days before she tells the guy's older daughters and his other children that he's even dead. Psycho woman. So, yeah, I guess she was happy he was dead. So then husband number 5 is off living his own life in Idaho. 2 weeks before they got married, his wife mysteriously died. And he said she died in her sleep. They bury her, they get on with life. 2 weeks later, he's married to Psycho Lady. Well, just I think it was about 2 weeks ago. There, yeah, imagine that. They're exhuming the dead wife's body to do a new autopsy and get a toxicology and see if they can determine why she died. Because it gets even, I mean, it's so much more. Because Now her brother ends up dead. The brother that killed the husband, he ends up dead from really bizarre, mysterious causes. Super nuts. I don't even understand how somebody can have this much going on around them and think people aren't going to notice. So, meanwhile, she gets 2 weeks after his wife dies, they get married and they run off to Hawaii. No kids. Her 2 kids that were with her got, the last time they were seen was in September. She pulled the kid out of school, moved to Idaho because she pulled him out of school and said, I have to take this job elsewhere. My husband died, so we have to move. Okay, fine. So she takes him out of this specialized school for autistic kids, um, moves to Idaho, enrolls him in public school for 1 week, and then pulls him out of school. And then poof, gone. She marries this guy, runs off to Hawaii. No kids. So these kids have been missing since September. She's been arrested for contempt of court because they got a court order. Yeah, I know. It's nuts. They got a court order for her to produce the kids. She wouldn't produce them. They charged her with contempt of court, I think. They also charged her with abandonment, failure to provide for her kids. She is not talking. If you look at the footage of her, she's either smiling and laughing and joking, or she's got this smug ass look on her face, like, I know something you don't know. Boy, you guys are never gonna figure this out. Sick. It's just sick. But then there was also an attempt during all of this on her niece joined the same cult group. And there was an attempt on the niece's husband's life. That's a good question. That is something that I've been wondering a lot, is maybe the kids are in one of these white camp things or with other people in the church, which I was a lot more open to. But now that they're talking about, get this, zombies, no joke. There was a letter where the niece's ex-husband was talking about her having said the kids were zombies and possessed, and that back to the only way to get rid of the spirits is to essentially kill them or cause them serious trauma. And she had actually or is reported to have said that she had been having thoughts that maybe it would just be better off if she drove off a cliff with the kids. So I don't know that they're alive, because there's even more craziness. Back when before her brother was killed, they actually have video footage of her in a storage unit with the kids' bikes and a lot of the kids' personal belongings, which you would think if the kids were with the church that they'd have their stuff. Maybe she she should have just driven off a cliff. I won't argue that. Mm, that was craziness. So, when they arrested her in Hawaii, she had the daughter's iPhone. She had the son's iPad. The daughter's bank account had been accessed, and it's like she's the one doing all of this. Why? Yeah, I don't know. She's truly daft. Yeah, she is something else. But now she's in custody, but they can't find the kids, so they can't charge her with murder because no body, right? So the only thing that they're charging her with right now is still the abandonment charges. It's oh so psycho. Yeah, missing kids. She's got their stuff. New husband. Oh, and when they moved into this townhome in Hawaii, they even moved in saying they didn't have any minor kids. Now, husband number 5, Chad Daybell, oh, he's his own problem, his wife is dead, all of that. So he at one point came out and said that his that he didn't know she had minor children. Yet he was seen on camera moving their stuff into storage with her. I'm like, what a dumbass, right? What a complete and utter dumbass. So I've been following that whole thing a lot. It's daily updates. Just kind of crazy. So what do you guys want to talk about? Yeah, Mark left. He said, not that I could tell, but then I can't see who's there unless they're talking to me.
Oh, that's some pretty crappy software.
No, it's YouTube. It's how it works. It's how live stream
Pretty
works.
crappy software.
Yeah, whatever. All right. Have a good night. Have a good conversation with Dad. Hi, Mel. Have you been paying any attention to this craziness in the news? I spend a lot of time keeping up with the updates because I clearly have more time on my hands not driving 3 hours a day. Not MSNBC. Yeah. Yeah, it's all right. I'm getting so much more done around the house though. It makes me happy to have a little time to do things like unpack a box now and then. So I brought home a 16-foot trailer full of furniture and boxes. All right. Have a good night. I'll sign off here myself in a minute. Thank you guys for coming. This was fun. I'm glad you guys came in to chat. Have a good night. Yeah, lots of fun. We'll do it again. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and sign off. Have a good night. Love you.